What's up, everybody? It's your boy JB coming to you today with the review for Black Ink Crew Chicago. I think this is season 4, episode 2, and this episode is titled 9 Mag is Dead. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so this episode starts out with Ryan. He's talking about, since leaving 9 Mag and all that kind of stuff, he feels like a huge weight has been lifted off his shoulder. So he goes and meets with his mom and his dad. And, he's sitting there telling them about the situation, that he left 9 Mag, and he's trying to give them, his reason for leaving 9 Mag and all that kind of stuff. And neither his mom nor his dad are actually here for him, for the reason that he left 9 Mag. Now, my thing is with Ryan, yeah, you've been there for everybody in the shop. But my thing is, instead of you just up and leaving like a pussy, and closing 9 Mag and doing what all you did, you could have easily just fired all those niggas and got a whole new crew. But you went the pussy way, closed the shop, didn't tell them anything, and then you vandalized your own store. So I don't respect Ryan for that part. But and then his mom and his dad, like I said, they were not really here for it. Basically they were asking him, how would his sister feel, knowing that he closed his shop and all that kind of stuff. And then, because he was also talking about that might be the end of him tattooing. And I'm like, think to myself, like, why would you let those people stop you from tattooing? Like, just what he could have did was he could, like I said again, he could have fired all of them in that shop and went and hired a whole new crew. That way he wasn't closing his shop, and he was still being true to himself and his sister. But whatever with that one, man, because like I said, once again, he could have did it this a completely different way. And I think his mom and dad was kind of, hinting at him that things could have been done completely differently than what he did them. But we'll move on to the next. All right, so next we get Danielle. She's back and she's meeting with Charmaine. So like I said, Danielle is back and she's engaged to Terrence. They've been together with each other off and on for 10 years, although he's cheated on her. And actually, from the preview of next week's episode, still cheating on her. And I'm like, 10 years that you've been together, you make yourself like a complete fucking idiot. Like, you would have do it for 10 years. He hasn't asked you to marry him up until this point. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Wasting your time and all that kind of stuff. Like, after a certain point in time, I would be like, shit, I'm dipping. You ain't shit. Like, you cheating on me. You cheated on me. And we still not married and all that kind of stuff. And now 10 years later, you want to ask me to marry you. I'd be like, nigga, get the fuck out of here with that shit. No, I don't want to marry you. But, Danielle, like I said, she's back. And then, they're talking about everything, because this is Danielle's first time finding out about the whole Ryan situation, closing down 9 Mag. So she's finding out that they only have 6 days to figure out what to do, to get another job and all that kind of stuff. And then, while she and Charmaine are talking, Charmaine has already taken it upon herself to appoint herself maid of honor. And then she has this big ass board where she's, showing Danielle all kind of stuff, and basically made herself the fucking wedding planner too. I'm like, god damn, bitch just came back and you already trying to plan her wedding and all this kind of stuff. Like, okay, I see you, Charmaine, but you're going a little too fast, so pump your brakes, boo. Pump your brakes. But so they Danielle gives her a little cupcake and they eat it, and then she pulls something out, and it's a piece of paper, and then in the piece of paper is Danielle asking Charmaine to be her maid of honor, which Charmaine does say yes, she'll be her maid of honor. So that was pretty cool and cute to see that scene. So moving on from that, and then next we get this scene with Ashley and her cousin. She knocks at the door, and Ashley's son, DJ, walks to the door and just answers the fucking door without even asking who the fuck it is. Like, and I'm with Charmaine, like, nah, nigga, you don't go up to the door and answer the door. Just open the door all freely and shit. Like, hell, it could be a fucking kill at the door, and you don't let that motherfucking ass in here to kill us. But luckily enough, it was her cousin. So Charmaine is actually, I'm not Charmaine, but Ashley is staying at a hotel after the whole situation with Don and all that kind of stuff. And she's talking about how, she doesn't have a stove, a refrigerator, or none of that stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you in a hotel and Don cheated on you for the umpteenth time? Like, you a better person than I am. Like, I don't give a fuck who pays the bills and what at their home. Don cheated, not you. So I would have been like, you know what, nigga? It's time for you to get your shit and get the fuck out. Me and the kids are staying here, but you go get a hotel. I'm not going no motherfucking well. Like, get the fuck out of here. You cheated on me again. So you gotta pack your shit and go. But, you know, like I said, she's at the hotel. Her cousin comes over there and they're talking. You know, her cousin is talking about before, you know, breaking up her marriage to Don, that, you know, she feels like she should sit down with the girl and just, you know, hear her side of it before she, you know, just up and leave Don, because, you know, the girl could be lying, which it is true. The girl could be lying, but when her cousin said that she should meet with the girl, I'm like, what the fuck for? Like, why she need to meet with that bitch? Like, there is nothing I mean, for me personally, if I would not want to sit down with the girl and have a conversation with her, why? She sent her text message proof and all that kind of stuff, which again, text and all that kind of shit can be doctored and whatnot. So, I mean, I wouldn't take it at face value, but I just wouldn't sit down with the little bitch for nothing. Like, she could be lying and Don they both could be lying. So I wasn't here when her cousin said to me with that girl. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I ain't mean with that hoe. What we need to talk for? She fucked my husband, and, you know, he recorded her giving him head. Like, no, into the old motherfucker. No, we would be done. But moving on from that. And then next we get this scene with Ashley and her cousin. She knocks at the door, and Ashley's son DJ walks to the door and just answers the fucking door without even asking who the fuck it is. Like, and I'm with Charmaine, like, nah, nigga, you don't go up to the door and answer the door. Just open the door all freely and shit. Like, hell, it could be a fucking killer at the door, and you don't let that motherfucking ass in here to kill us. But luckily enough, it was her cousin. So Charmaine is actually, I'm not Charmaine, but Ashley is staying at a hotel after the whole situation with Don and all that kind of stuff. And she's talking about how, you know, she doesn't have a stove, a refrigerator, or none of that stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you in a hotel and Don cheated on you for the umpteenth time? Like, you a better person than I am. Like, I don't give a fuck who pays the bills and what at their home. Don cheated, not you. So I would have been like, you know what, nigga? It's time for you to get your shit and get the fuck out. Me and the kids are staying here, but you go get a hotel. I'm not going no motherfucking well. Like, get the fuck out of here. You cheated on me again. So you gotta pack your shit and go. But, you know, like I said, she's at the hotel. Her cousin comes over there and they're talking. You know, her cousin is talking about before, you know, breaking up her marriage to Don, that, you know, she feels like she should sit down with the girl and just, you know, hear her side of it before she, you know, just up and leave Don, because, you know, the girl could be lying, which it is true. The girl could be lying, but when her cousin said that she should meet with the girl, I'm like, what the fuck for? Like, why she need to meet with that bitch? Like, there is nothing I mean, for me personally, if I would not want to sit down with the girl and have a conversation with her, why? She sent her text message proof and all that kind of stuff, which again, text and all that kind of shit can be doctored and whatnot. So, I mean, I wouldn't take it at face value, but I just wouldn't sit down with the little bitch for nothing. Like, she could be lying and Don they both could be lying. So I wasn't here when her cousin said to me with that girl. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I ain't mean with that hoe. What we need to talk for? She fucked my husband, and, you know, he recorded her giving him head. Like, no, into the old motherfucker. No, we would be done. But moving on from that. Okay, so you have some of them meeting up for brunch. I know Charmaine was there and Lily was there. I want to say Phor and Don were there, and I know Van was there. So they are meeting up for brunch, you know, and Lily's sitting here talking about, you know, what is brunch? And I'm like, breakfast, lunch, put them together, brunch. Say it with me. Breakfast, lunch, brunch. And then I'm like, but you know what? I'm not even gonna fault her for that, because you don't have to have brain cells to be a tattoo artist. So we ain't gonna blame Lily for that one. But, you know, Charmaine tells her what it was, you know, talking about that black people invented it because, you know, on CP time, color people time, that, you know, if you say be at lunch for breakfast at 10 o'clock, we show up at 2 o'clock and stuff like that. So that's where brunch came from. But I'm like, okay, Never heard that either, but okay. So, like I said, Van comes and meets their mom, and he's telling them that they got 6 days to, basically get out the shop and find him a new job. And I'm like, why would y'all wait this late to try to find something else? But whatever. Like, Ryan has been gone, and when Ryan told y'all that the lease was up, either y'all should have said, hey, which they did, because Van came up with the idea, like, let's go talk to the landlord ourselves and see if we can put the lease in our name, or let's go around and see what other tattoo shops are out there and see if we can work for them and all that kind of stuff. And Lily's whole thing is that she doesn't have a clientele base right now, and she doesn't really want to go back and live with her sister, and she's not trying to go back to San Antonio. And I'm like, okay, I get all that stuff, but why not? Since y'all have nothing, y'all can't go to the shop and y'all not working, why not say, hey, let me go to these other tattoo shops around Chicago and show them my work and see if I can come in here and work for them, instead of just sitting there twiddling your thumb, not knowing what you're gonna do, and all that kind of stuff. Because I really completely did not understand any of that stuff. Either talk to the landlord or try to find another job. But I guess that would be too much like right for these people. But and then Charmaine is talking about how she left her corporate job, and I'm like, you left a corporate job to go to 9mag? What kind of idiot does that bullshit? Like, really? And then she only does her radio job on the weekends. So again, excuse me, who does that shit? But they will figure. I mean, really, you should have tried to figure this out when you found out that Ryan was not coming back to 9mag. All right, so we get this little scene where you got Lily and you got Cobra in the shop, and they're just bored and all that kind of stuff. So Lily takes it upon herself to tell Cobra that she wants to tat her on her ass, and then she didn't. She tatted her under her cheeks, and it was Mexicana. And she's talking about Junior and all this kind of stuff, and you can clearly tell that she is in her feelings about Junior. Telling us that he did the smart thing. He left 9mag before Ryan even closed it, and all that kind of stuff. He found him another job, he found a better off and all that kind of stuff, because he got out of 9mag because of all the drama and the bullshit that was going on there, which the rest of them should have did that shit as well. Get out of Dodge while you can, but none of them did. The only one that did that was Junior, and I'll get a little bit more into that later on in the video. So, alright, so next we get a scene where Phor is meeting up with the super producer, London, on the track. And this is all, he saw him perform at the, what was it called? The big jam that he performed at, and he kind of wants to work with him. So, his whole thing was he wants to help Phor finish his album and all kind of stuff. And in order for him to help him finish his album, Phor actually has to go to LA and all this kind of stuff to get the work done. And, Phor is like, he got his clientele base there, and he got Nikki in Chicago. And he don't want to just up and move and do that kind of, finish the album. I'm like, come on, bruh. If music is what you want to do, and you got this major super producer in front of you telling you, hey, I want you to come out to LA. He didn't give him a time frame on how long he would be out there. He just said until the project is done. Then, my nigga, you say, okay, let me figure out, how to get out there and get this shit finished. Because number one, you are on this show and you're promoting your tattoo and all that kind of stuff. I know you got a big following on social media, on IG, Snapchat, Instagram, and all that kind of stuff. So all you got to do is when you get to LA, be like, hey, I'm here in LA, I'm doing tattooing and all this kind of stuff, and people will come and get tattoos done for me. So it's not that hard, because I'm here in Dallas right now. I live in Dallas, and Kevin from Black Ink New York, he always, whenever he comes to Dallas or anything like that, he'll put it on Instagram and all that kind of stuff, and tell people, hey, I'm here, I got these dates open, hit me up in my not my DM, but hit me up in my email box, and we'll set up an appointment and all that kind of stuff. So it can't be, it's not that hard for real to go somewhere and build a whole new clientele and all that stuff. I know you probably got your clients in Chicago that like you and come to you on a regular, but even if you go to LA, it'll still be the same, bro. Like, it's not that hard to get some new clients. But you know, that's how I feel about that one. But moving on from that. Okay, so next we get this scene where you have Lily, you have Phor, and you have Don. They're all out. And you know, Lily is asking Don and Phor, have they ever had a threesome and stuff like that. And I'm like, really? You asking these two niggas have they had a threesome? Especially Don of all people. Like, girl, I'm pretty sure they have had threesomes in their lifetime. Like, what of them? And then, you know, she's talking about she's jealous of them and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, Don is the last motherfucker that I would be jealous of his relationship at all, because it's in hell right now. Like, he just cheated on his wife. Like, what the fuck? That's not a situation that I would be jealous of. And then, you know, Phor pulls up a picture on, I think it would be the Instagram of Junior with his new girl. And, you know, Ashley's in her feelings about that and all that kind of stuff. And then in walks Van to let them know he went and talked to the landlord and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, basically trying to see if they can get the lease in their name. So he tells them, you know, about it, you know, that the landlord said no, that they don't want to deal with them because of all the loud parties that they have and, you know, all the drama that goes on with that shop and all that kind of stuff. And then also the vandalism that Ryan did. So they threw out a huge number, which Van never said how much it was, but I'm pretty sure it was an amount that none of them could, you know, actually come up with. So basically the landlord is like, fuck y'all, we don't want y'all in our storefront anymore, and it's a done deal. Now my whole thing with this whole storefront is, when it comes down to this, you know, I'm thinking when Ryan vandalized the property, like, you do realize, number one, the landlord could sue you for that too, and then number two, I don't know how businesses work, but I know, like, when you go to apartments or get a house and all that kind of stuff, you do have to put up a security deposit. And, you know, if you tear that shit up, you're not going to get that security deposit back, number one. And then number two, they have a legal right to take you to court and sue you for all that kind of shit. So for you to vandalize the store and shoot it up, which Ryan said he didn't shoot it up. He said that production did it, which we don't know who did it or not. But again, to do all that kind of shit, you do know that they could say, hey, we are suing you for, you know, damages and all that kind of stuff. But whatever, moving on from that. Well, actually not moving on from that. So they decided that they are going to have one last party at 9 Mag. And I'm like, really? Y'all gonna have one last party at 9 Mag? That is the reason. Well, that is one of the reasons why the landlord does not want to give you the storefront and give you the building in your name. Like, y'all are just further giving them more reason for not wanting to do it. Having one last fucking party, like, really, really. Okay, so next we get Phor. He is at home with Nikki. So, you know, he's telling Nikki about him meeting with London on the track. And she's all happy for him at first, until he drops the bomb that, you know, he wants him to come to LA to, you know, finish the album and all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, she just flips out on him for no fucking reason, talking about he's selfish and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, she's talking about, you know, she just opened up her, you know, she opened up her store and she's hired new people and all this kind of stuff. And then, you know, she's talking about she's still dealing with her online sales and all that kind of stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, with your online stuff, you can just up and move and go, and your online stuff is right there with you. And as far as your store, you know, just hire people in there that you feel you can trust to run the store while you're not there. It's just that plain and simple to me. And then, you know, she's talking about Phor is you know, being selfish and all that stuff. I'm like, how is he being selfish if he's pursuing his dream? Like, how is that selfish at all? I mean, you don't want to stifle somebody from pursuing something that is a dream of theirs. But because I really don't understand it, when she started throwing the cereal and all that kind of stuff at him, and then she go upstairs and get his clothes and throw his clothes downstairs, I'm like, what are you trying to prove? Like, this brother is trying to go out and, you know, pursue his dream, and you sitting up here moaning, bitching, and complaining about that. Like, that really made absolutely no sense to me. Like, I really truly did not get that. Like, you pursued your hair stuff and all that stuff, and he was there supporting you. Why can't you support him in his music career and all that kind of stuff? It's pretty stupid to me, but, you know, I really truly just did not understand that shit at all. Not even 1% of me understood that. But, you know, moving on from that, because, like, again, I did not understand that. It was baffling, confusing, and confusing. So, all right, so next we get this last 9 mag party, which is basically a fuck Ryan party and all that kind of shit, because they showed the invitation that Charmaine made. She sent the invitation to everyone, including Ryan himself. So you have Junior there, and you know Junior's whole thing is he left 9 mag before everything happened because he got a better offer and all that kind of stuff because he was over the drama and all the bullshit. So, you know, Charmaine comes up to him. She tells him that, you know, she feels like he and Lily need to talk. And, you know, he agreed with her on that one. And, you know, also, he's not really here for them with this whole fuck Ryan party and all that kind of stuff. He felt a certain type of way about it, which, again, understandable. With all the stuff that Ryan has done for them, you know, why would you shit on the guy that has helped you out in more ways than one? But that's not my business why they do that and stuff and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, so he does go talk to Lily. Lily's whole thing is she was trying to avoid Junior at all costs. So when they, you know, sit and talk, Junior's whole thing is that he wants to, you know, be cool and be friends with Lily. But Lily doesn't want that because, you know, she says she still has feelings for Junior and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, he's talking about he's in a relationship and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, you can clearly see that it's affecting Lily, you know, differently than it is Junior because, like I said, she has feelings for him. So she doesn't want to just be his friend. She wants to be more than just friends with him. But we'll see how that goes later on down the line. And then outside of the 9 mag party, you got Ryan out there with his girl Rachel and all that kind of stuff. They sit in the car and Ryan's trying to figure out what he wants to do, if he wants to go in there or if he wants to leave and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, nigga, you know you about to leave. Like, get the fuck out of here with that. And, you know, my whole thing with this is that invitation that Charmaine sent to him. I'm like, come on. That invitation was really saying, fuck you, nigga. Like, and when I saw that invitation, if she texted me that invitation, I would be like, you know what? Fuck you. I ain't come to that shit. Like, you saying fuck me? Nah, it's fuck you. But, you know, like I said, they're sitting outside. He's trying to figure out what he wants to do. But eventually the nigga just leaves and all that kind of shit. I'm like, exactly what you should have done in the beginning. First of all, you should have never brought your ass there in the first place. So you wasted your time and gas to go over there just to sit outside and then decide at the last minute, oh, nah, I'm just gonna leave this bitch. Like, really, Ryan? All right, so basically after that conversation that Ryan had earlier in this episode with his parents about 9 mag and all this stuff, he decides to go to his sister's grave. So with this, you know, Ryan is pretty much saying that, you know, he may have closed down the shop, but 9 mag is not dead and all that kind of stuff. Because, you know, again, like I said earlier in the video, don't let them stop you from tattooing and all that kind of stuff. You can go build a new 9 mag. You can hire new people and all that kind of stuff. You don't have to give up your shop and your dream and all that kind of stuff. Do 9 mag and just say fuck the rest of those people, and I'm moving on. And then basically that's what he's gonna do. He's gonna recreate 9 mag and hire new people, which he should have did in the first fucking place. It would have been just that easy and that simple. And then lastly, we get Ashley. She's meeting up with the side hoe at a bookstore. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, why did you meet up with this girl for? I mean, I know you want to hear her side of the story about what happened with Don, but all you're doing is giving this bitch some camera time, and I wouldn't give that bitch not an ounce of camera time. So, you know, they sit down, they talk, and they have little light pleasantries, and then Ashley's like, well, let's get down to the business of why we really here. So she wants to know how long everything had been happening between her and the girl and Don. And the girl tells her, you know, it was a little over a year and stuff like that. So then Ashley was like, well, did you know I was pregnant and all that kind of stuff? And she was like, yeah. And she was like, and you still slept with him knowing that I was pregnant? And she was like, you know, yeah. You know, she was messing with somebody that she thought was her friend. And I'm like, why do bitches always say that, you know, they thought that they were with somebody that they was a friend? Like, you knew he was married, but you still slept with him and you think y'all friends and all that kind of stuff. Like, what? But again, what? So, you know, while they're sitting there talking, you know, Ashley's getting mad and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, I don't know what you're getting mad for, Ashley, because you the one that sat down with this girl. She, you know, you could have easily just said, fuck this bitch. I don't want to sit down with you. We ain't got nothing to talk about and all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, the girl let it be known that she is pregnant by Don. I'm like, oh shit, this bitch is pregnant. I'm like, wow, I didn't see that one coming. And then, you know, she also lets her know that she was pregnant before that. And, you know, that Don paid for the abortion and all that kind of stuff. And she shows text message proof where he sent her money, I guess, to have the abortion. I'm like, oh my God, like, what the fuck? Like, Ashley, you know, it would took a lot out of me not to haul off and smack the shit out that bitch. Because like Ashley said, she doesn't really know that the girl's, you know, one, you can't believe if the girl is pregnant or not. And then number two, I was with Ashley, you know, I won't believe that it's Don's until I see a DNA test proving that it is in fact his baby. Because just like you slept with him, you could sleep with any other nigga. So I don't believe you until I see a DNA proof and all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, she was telling her you got pregnant by a nigga that ain't got nothing, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, y'all look stupid as fuck. So then they start arguing back and forth with each other in a bookstore at that. And you got all those white people looking around there, and they talking about, you know, well, how did my pussy taste, and how did my pussy, you know, and then Ashley was like, well, I fucked him before he came and fucked you and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, y'all are really embarrassing yourselves in front of all these white people. Like, what the fuck? Talking about whose pussy taste, like, did you taste my pussy? Did you taste my pussy? And I'm like, oh, I'm like, really? This is how low we done stooped? Like, y'all are in a bookstore and y'all are arguing over something, you know, just arguing over this. Like, really. But that was Black in Chicago. Like the video, leave your comments, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys later. And if anybody out there has been watching my videos and all that kind of stuff, I did not forget to do Basketball Wives. Just a lot of shit came up this week that threw me off of my game. So by the end of the week, I should have my Basketball Wives review up, if anybody's watching. So I will see you guys later.